It can be stressful. Me, 28, her, 27. Been together for 10 years. Married 4 years. Just found out through snooping around that she's been having an affair. How do I know for certain? She took a video of it. I could not stop watching that crap even if I really tried. Never could I imagine my reserved wife would be a star to her boss. What the heck? She was so enthusiastic it made me nauseous. Her boss finished off on her wedding ring and she laughed it off. I am seething and livid. I have never felt such betrayal and rage in my entire life. She is lucky she's on a business trip or I would have. We have a 1-year-old daughter, for Pete's sake. How the f could she think this was okay? There will be no reconciliation. I want the monster gone, but I need to protect my kid. Whatever happens, my kid is my priority. I've already changed the locks to my house. Yes, my house in my name brought by my deceased parents' inheritance. All the sacrifices I did for this spoil monster. I moved heaven and earth for her. I worked my bottom off to have a high-paying job for US. How could she throw it all away? She has no idea, I know. She will be arriving from her trip with her garbage boss in 2 days. My aim is gone. I don't need anyone telling me otherwise. I love this woman with every fiber of my being, and my love is slowly weakening my resolve to move on. But I'm certain it's over. I'm young, handsome, and making a living. I do not have time to waste any more years of my life with this creature. No more. I did everything for her. I was never abusive. I never cheated. Our marriage was amazing. Monster told me so herself. I treated her like she was my queen. She was my one and only. She was my first and only. I tolerated all the bull crap she gave me about being able to party and having guy friends. Biggest damn mistake of my life. Screw her. I'm angry as hell, but I have a rein on it. It is absolutely crucial that I'm clinical in finishing what she started. I need advice on what I can do here on out and what to expect from her. I've scheduled a meeting with a lawyer tomorrow. I want this crap done ASAP. Not one more breath will be spent on her. The country I'm in has fought divorce, and boy oh boy am I going to take Monster to the cleaners. She can keep her job, because she's going to need it. My God, the crap I had to go through to come here. I'll definitely need therapy. Those images I'm not going nowhere. Those images I'm not going anywhere. About telling her HR could it cost her job. I need her to keep it. There's no way I'm risking paying her anything because she can't support herself. I'm not worried about possibly doing anything stupid like hurting her. That will impede my end goal. I have the anger under control. I'm actually pretty numb, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. Yes, I'm not whining because I gave everything to this marriage and she spat it back in my face. Nobody screws with me. No one. I found the video on her laptop. It was just repaired and I fetched it without telling her. The way she acted leading up to the business trip had red flag written all over it. So, I snooped and found the video. I'm backing up everything and giving them to my attorney. There are more videos here, but I'm not going to bother watching them. It's definitely her in the one I saw. Crystal clear barf. Should I confront her when she gets back? Damn it, I have to get my daughter tested. What a nightmare. I'll schedule a screening for STD and HIV. The more I realize I need to do, the more I hate this woman. We both live in the same country. I say for now because I'm considering taking a position on offer in London. This sucked big time. Our future was so prosperous. Things were looking great for us. Yes, she thought she could take advantage of my kindness and thought I was a doormat. A cuckold to fool around on, still string along. Big mistake on her part. When she's going to learn the hard way and try to touch me. Wouldn't even touch her with a 10-foot pole. The thought of her literally disgusts me right now. I'll get started on taking a paternity test on my daughter as soon as I can. So much to do, so little time. If my lawyer says so, I'll give her the keys. I'm meeting him in a few hours. Another thing I want to add is that I had made a lot of contingency plans in the event that somehow, someway my marriage wouldn't last before I got married. Divorce is high in my area, so I didn't delude myself into thinking my marriage was somehow special. Some of those plans were in both our favors, some were exclusively mine. I won't say any more on that until I'm sure the route I'm heading in is the right one by talking to my lawyer. The at-fault divorce might not mean anything here. Hell, the courts may favor her, I get that, and I'll confirm with my lawyer what proper course of action to take. But I made sure to protect my assets before we took the plunge. My deceased parents left me a substantial amount of money. I have made a lot of money, and I'll be damned if she even touches it with hands that have been in God knows where. I don't know about the VAR, I'll confirm that as well. I've backed up everything and sent my attorney the illicit details for him to figure out. I'm busy with the financial records and bank accounts. We only have one joint account established for my daughter's future. We were planning a joint account to share our income. She wanted it pretty desperately. Thank the Lord I didn't agree to it. Yes, he's a good lawyer with an established reputation. Bloody expensive too. Monster is coming on set at about 4 in the afternoon. I'll take my daughter to a health center later today. I will play everything by the book. I do not want anything I do from here on out to give her any sort of advantage. Throughout our relationship, all she really thought about was herself. The parties, the drinking, the business trips with guy friends. I was a freaking idiot to trust her. If I have to pay her child support, I will. My daughter is my number one. I'm not someone who will be played for a fool. I didn't get to where I am by letting people walk all over me. I'm a man of my word. I told her cheating would be the end of our relationship. I told her if I found out she ever betrayed me with any of the guy friends she hanged out with, she better live with them, because I'm not taking her back. Despite my disgust in her, I do not want her to suffer, but by the time I'm through, she might very well. I'm holding off exposing until I know for sure what my likely outcome in this will be. Like I said, I need her to keep that job. She needs to support herself because I will not. The boss is married. Update: struggling keeping my emotions in check. The divorce is a go, but it's going to take a far longer time than I anticipated to be over and done with. I'm looking at a min 5 months to a year if she gets nasty. I did mention I made plans for this sort of thing. Since I've talked it out with my lawyer, here is the deal. We had signed a prenup before we married. My wife hated the idea, but it was the only way I was going to marry. A colleague, who is much older than myself, told me to protect myself and parents' inheritance in any way I can. He went through a nasty divorce and lost everything. I was not taking that chance, even if I loved and trusted my wife. I'm more of a better safe than sorry kind of guy. The agreement was fair to each of us. If I screwed up, she would get a nice settlement from me since I'm the main breadwinner. But if she screwed up, meaning adultery specifically, she gets nothing from me. She can and will most likely still get child support, but I'm keeping my money. The video evidence will be used as leverage for sure. I'm planning on planting the seeds in her head with as little detail as I can to ensure that she makes this process easy. The more confused she is about what's going on, the better this will be for me. My attorney is ready for a fight. Hopefully I'll be one of the few gentlemen in the UK who didn't lose this fight. Well, at least I'm not losing too much if it pans out as planned. I'll need to let her in the house in order for her to take her stuff and make reservations elsewhere. Keeping her out, even if I legally own the home, would not go in my favor if she had no clue about it. Far as it go. It is crucial if I want to come out of this with little damage to my reputation and possibly suffering false accusations that I get evidence that I'm not abusing anyone or anything. I already have cameras around my house from 2 years ago after an attempted burglary. She is going to fight this. That's the type of person she is. But I have a lot against her. There's no guarantee it will go my way. Some of it will depend on her and her possible lawyer's ignorance. Trust me, when this is over, I'm blowing up their worlds regardless of their circumstances. Took my daughter to get checked. Expecting the results in a few days to 2 weeks. My lord, I am exhausted. Well guys, it's done. The wheels are in motion and I successfully kicked her out of the house. OM called me a few minutes ago with threats and bribery. They know I can expose the both of them. They're texting themselves. OM is in charge of a pretty big company. He has a lot to lose. Monster did the typical cheaters thing and lied, then begged and begged and begged for another chance and forgiveness. No damn way. I am not stupid. Can't really sleep but trying to stay calm. My lawyer knows everything. Hell, the neighbors probably know with how much Monster was yelling. I was calm the whole time. I surprised myself at the confrontation. A friend is over to keep me company because I'm not coping well. She's sleeping in the guest room. No, I will never sleep with her. She's like a sister. OBS wants to see me today. Apparently, OM told her what's going on and she just wants to confirm with me. I declined, but she will not stop calling to ask. My lawyer advised me to wait on exposure. Monster has been calling and leaving text messages nonstop. I think OM dumped her because she sounds hysterical. Her parents even called me because she told them I kicked her out but lied about why. This crap pisses me off. I told OBS that OM was sleeping with Monster, but that's all. She wants to meet me because she wants to know the details. My friend is still sticking around. She has been a great help. I'm getting the DNA results on Friday and the STI screening results show my daughter and myself are clear. So at least Monster was truthful about not contracting any diseases. She swore she used protection. Lie. Okay, here is what happened on Saturday. My lawyer was still drawing up the papers, so serving her was out of the question. She landed about an hour earlier than she was supposed to. I was busy adjusting the cameras a bit to make sure they recorded precise areas that I was sure she would go to in the house when she called me to come and pick her up. At this time, she still didn't know I knew of what's going on. I told her that I'm busy and she got pissed that I was too busy to pick her up and told her to get a taxi. She wanted to argue about me being a bad husband. I did not respond to her provoking and told her that I had changed the locks to the house and she needed to come home immediately because it was important. She used that to start an argument of me not picking her up. I shut her down and told her to come home and I'm not picking her up because there's a crisis I'm handling at home. I told her I'll tell her the details when she arrives. When she arrived, she comes home and looks worried. I was sitting in the lounge watching the TV when she walked in. I greeted her but did not hug her. She wanted to know what was wrong. She was worried about our daughter. I told her that I knew she was having an affair and that I'm giving her one chance and one chance only to tell me everything that was going on. I did not elaborate on it because I just wanted to hear what she had to say and that's all. She immediately got angry and shouted at me for even thinking she was having an affair, that I was her one and only. She turned it around and questioned my fidelity. I did not let her change the subject. I told her again that she only had one chance to save herself and I will not repeat it. She said that I'm crazy for ever thinking she could ruin such a good marriage. We are at a young age and are already well prepared and thriving financially. She said, everything is going amazing for us. Why would I destroy it? I asked her if that was the story she was sticking to. She said that's the truth. I said, okay, I know you're lying and I want you to pack your things and leave the house, make reservations somewhere else. She refused and demanded that I show her the proof to my allegations. I said that it was not on me to show her proof. It was on her to prove to me otherwise. I asked for her phone. She refused and said I'm being ridiculous. She said that if that's the way I'm going to be, then she will leave me and take our daughter. I did not give in to her bait and again politely asked her for her phone. She said I needed to trust her. What is a marriage without trust? I asked her if I didn't trust her, wasn't it her job to reassure me? She said that my trust is my own problem. I had enough of the back-to-back and asked her if she was sleeping with her boss. She yelled very loudly, how could I think that? She said she was not a tramp and how dare I question her loyalty. I showed her the screenshot of the ring part I saved on my phone. She was dead silent. Then she asked me where I got it from. I told her that's not important. She is not aware that I went through her laptop because I sent it back to repairs. I deal with those issues, she does not. She deleted the picture on my phone. She was panicking and told me it's not what it looks like. I think I looked at her like she was crazy because she started making up bull excuses that it wasn't her on that screenshot and that I'm downloading and stuff. I told her that I watched the entire thing and I know what ring I put on her finger. I told her that I warned her if she betrayed me then she better be prepared to live with it and her lover. She started crying really hard. She was saying sorry a lot. She went on her knees and grabbed my leg. She begged me to forgive her and give her another chance. It took everything in me not to give in and hug her. But I did not fall for crocodile tears. I am not stupid. I told her to pack everything and leave, that we will discuss things concerning our daughter and finances. She begged me not to divorce. She said that she loved me and will prove it to the one who said she would try to play with me. She started kissing me and hugging me by the waist and I had to be careful not to push her away too roughly. I firmly told her never to touch me again. I told her about how much we both sacrificed for this marriage, how many people I had to give up just to be with her, how much humiliation I feel at what she did. She was crying and saying she loves me and I told her she doesn't know what love is and I'm not waiting for her to find out. She asked me to think about what I'm doing and said, so you're really going to throw 14 years away just for 5 months of an affair? I told her it wasn't me who threw those years away and I'm not sure it was just 5 months. She was free to see that pos whenever she wants now. She had the audacity to tell me he meant nothing. I got angry hearing that but kept my cool. I told her I had to get my daughter tested because of her nonsense. She swore on my daughter's life that she used protection and my daughter is mine. If Monster was a guy, I would have punched her for that. I told her to do herself a favor and leave. I hinted to the fact I know more than just what I showed her. She wanted me to promise not to do anything drastic and give her a chance to explain herself, then she would go. I told her that I'm not making promises and please get out of my house. She said it was our house and she didn't like the way I was talking. She knew I was serious though, so she left. Her parents called me later. They were worried because I kicked her out. She told them I was upset because she didn't do something I asked for, like looking after our daughter. I told them she had an affair and that's the reason. They were shocked but asked me not to make any hasty decision. I respectfully agreed that I will not go for revenge, but every decision I make is for my daughter, not for Monster. OM called with threats and bribery. I did not entertain him. Monster was served yesterday. She is begging for another chance and has booked herself into IC. She told me she is reading up and getting help to find out how she could do this to us. She doesn't want to lose me and is willing to do whatever it takes to win me back. I told her to get help, but not for me. It is too late for us. I have all clear to meet OBS. There's nothing OM can get on me because my lawyer has been swift in shifting through all the evidence I've given him and we have a lot of ammo on him. OM doesn't know OBS and I are meeting. OBS is sad and desperate to find out what's going on with and Monster and I feel, like all of you, that she deserves to know regardless of her intentions. I am feeling very drained. Yes, I have trouble eating so I'll get the soup and maybe get the punching bag. Our daughter is with me for now. Final update. Things are hectic and messy. My lawyer has told me not to write the details for now. I'm just letting people know that I'm okay. Monster and I are not together. There will never be any reconciliation. My comment, good for OP standing up for himself. You cannot let people walk all over you. Some other OP need to learn from this one. Story 2. I know anything I do is my decision and I will own whatever the outcome of that is. I don't know why I'm posting on here. I will cop a hammering from some sides no doubt, but I think it will be therapeutic to tell my story before I take the next step. I have been married for nearly 20 years and knew my wife for only 2 years before marriage. We married at 30 and her 33, respectively. We met while we were both working away from our home countries and we decided to make our life in my home city. Have had 3 beautiful daughters now aged mid to late teens and lived and continue to live a happy family life. Well, what's the problem? The intimacy and bonding in our relationship has pretty much dried up completely. It was never great from the beginning. If I look back on our physical life in particular, I was never the best lover, suffering from some PE, but managed to maintain a number of girlfriends in my earlier life by being the best I could be in other ways. In my marriage, what with kids and life in general, we have both just let our relationship wither on the vine, both emotionally and physically. I think over the past decade or more probably we have had a non-physical marriage, being less than once a month. My W is going through menopause at the moment, so that is a real excuse, but before that we were only ever very occasional lovers. There have only ever been half-hearted attempts a few times to try to connect with each other better, both emotionally and physically. If I look back to when we met, I don't know if I felt really in love. And looking back, I wonder if she was either. She was ready to settle down and have kids, and I would be a good provider and a good solid husband. I accepted my role. It felt like the right thing to do at the time. I was looking to go back to my home country and settle down myself, and she seemed a good fit for that too, I suppose. Now to the bad part. I strayed a bit, starting with porn for some time, not that unusual I suppose, and then happy ending massages from about 2 years ago for a while to now being in a full-blown affair. I met my O on a website, and we started with just slept together every 2 weeks for about 6 months. My excuse being I just wanted to see what was out there and do some things before I lost the ability to do it. You only live once and all that stuff. Then about 3 months ago we both admitted we had feelings for each other. Anyway, this lady is lovely, a bit younger at 34 to my 49, and our physical life together is so far different from what I ever did with my wife that it's hard to believe. She has married herself but was effectively encouraged, forced into an open marriage by her husband because he did not want or could not have a physical relationship with her. She met me, I was nice, and she fell in love with me. The O is from a country where the husband is the boss, and divorcing over there would have been impossible for cultural and family reasons. They have been in my country for 3 years, and she has realized now she does not want to and should not have to live in a loveless marriage and be forced to get satisfaction from a string of men she does not feel for. She has told her husband she has met someone she cares about and has realized she cannot live like she has been for the past decade. They have a 7-year-old son. My dilemma. I have seen the Garden of Eden, my counselor's words, and the world no longer looks the same. My wife is a nice person. She is a good mother and doesn't deserve what I have done and am about to do. If I look back to when we met, I hope I am not rewriting history to suit my current wants. But I don't know if we had met at 26 would we have got together. We get on okay, but there is no deep connection apart from our shared significant child-rearing history. No cuddling anymore or discussions about ourselves. Only family-related stuff treated like a business. We don't do much by ourselves together, sometimes a bike ride or out to dinner. But we don't have similar hobbies or interests. For example, I read news a lot and know what's going on in the world. She has no interest. I did try and make an effort for dinner and intimacy several months ago now, but it just followed the same pattern as usual, and in fact it felt really awkward for me. Maybe because I knew I had feelings for someone else. In bed I satisfied her, and then we had slept together, which didn't last long, and then she is off to sleep. I compare that to the O, where she is hungry for all of me and wants bonding as much as she can. She will do whatever it takes to get me ready to go again and again, and seems to really enjoy making me feel good in her in turn. In 19 years, marriage, my wife has never once, memory may be fading, made an effort to get me up and going for round 2. For both our pleasure. After being with my O, I have come to realize what a great physical life could be. We do role plays, toys, she is willing and wants to try everything. She has been denied a lot in her 22nd, uses the internet to learn about being physical, and has a completely open mind. The things we have done and plan to do together I could not begin to talk about with my wife. In addition, even though we come from different cultures, she went to a Western school, is well educated and smart, and has an interest in what's going on around her. For better or for worse, I feel a real connection with her. Maybe it's just her want to love being reflected back at me, I don't know. I am aware of limerence and the risk this could all blow up, but what else to do? I am about to tell my wife that our marriage is in trouble, as a pathway to a separation. We should have talked properly years ago, but we are both similar in that we go with the flow and neither rock the boat. In truth though, even if I had been aware of or felt the shortcomings of my marriage that I feel now, I would probably have stuck it out for the kids for some time. I feel now is as good a time as any to bring this to a head. I don't plan to tell my W of the O. It will probably come out eventually. I don't think I'll be a good liar. It has only been 3 months since my activities have an emotional aspect, so I think I am doing this as fast as I could. I am really fearful of what it will do to my wife. Emotionally and financially for both of us it will be horrible. But at least there are not young kids to be fought over. If I look at the whole picture, the only thing I am worried about is the fear of the damage I will cause to my wife and also my kids. But I feel it is too late now to try and repair a marriage that in hindsight was not as good as it could be from the beginning. It would be great if she can see the problems we have and is relieved to want to separate. But I don't think that will happen. I understand both my W and I should have done more to nurture our relationship. But we didn't know how or couldn't be bothered. Who knows? That's it. Have at it. Do you think I am making the right decision in starting the process to leave my wife? I know the risks of the ongoing relationship. But again, what to do? I notice no one has said they think the marriage is worth saving or working on. My counselor also didn't press me to do that. All he said was take time to make my decisions. That's a bit sad that the marriage looks so far gone it's not worth bothering with. I do plan to live by myself for over 6 months and to try to start again with the other woman dating etc., but that just feels like an artificial construct to me. Some have said I must be truthful and confess the affair to my wife. I know there is reason to do that, but whether I confess or not, my wife will still wonder what went wrong or what she did wrong. I want the O to be a part of my life in the future, and that means in my kid's life. I don't want her to be seen as the one that is the home wrecker. That is one good reason to not confess, is it not? She is not a monster, nor am I, and we have to try and coexist with ex-spouses and kids in the future. The thought of her being with someone else does not really trouble me. The idea of that would have caused me untold angst earlier in my marriage. I do hope that my wife finds someone she can be happy with. That is part of my guilt, that I am leaving her, and even though she does not have a physical or close emotional relationship with me, we do at least provide the foundation for each other's lives. I know there are no guarantees for the future for each of us. I have tried to tell her if she leaves it is of her own accord for her reasons, and I will be the same. For my part, I hope she will be there for me at the other end. If she is not, then I will live with that. But right now I still don't think I would look back and wish I stayed with my wife. Maybe if I get to 70 and am lonely and broken, then I will think that. That's not a reason to stay together now though. I am worried about limerence, not the obsessive type though, on her behalf also. I recognize that in some of how she interacts with me. I have asked her straight out if she thinks she is wanting to be rescued from her marriage. It made her think, and we talked about it later. She is adamant it is love and she wants to be with me. Time will tell. It would be nice if we could all know the future, but we can't. We do make our future though. I need to speak to my wife first. I want to tell her that I think there is a problem and see what happens after that. I can't just drop a bomb on her with no warning. Theo, she has told her husband she wants to end their sham marriage. He is not happy but slowly accepting. I think he just thought his wife, Theo, would live a lifetime in a marriage that was a fake, and they just did their own things, no questions asked, with no love anywhere to be seen. Don't know what he earns, but probably I earn more now. He has potential to earn more in his career and comes from a wealthy family. Theo is very smart, works in the medical field, and with some more study to get local quals can have a very nice career in this country. I have told Theo that my divorce will damage me significantly financially. I have thought seriously about those consequences. But again, don't really know how that will turn out. I know my wife does not deserve to have her life turned upside down, but she also does deserve to have someone love her fully, like I feel I can't. I don't want to be the guy who strings along an O for years. I told her a while back to make sure she keeps me accountable to make a decision. That's why I'm doing something 3 months only after of professing feelings for the O. As my counselor said, I can't walk 2 paths at once. I do have a question though. My plan is to first just tell my wife of the problems I feel in the marriage and to ask her to look critically at where we are in our day-to-day encounters, our lack of deep emotional connections, our lack of physical connection, just to alert her that I have been thinking and don't think everything is okay. I don't feel I can just drop the nuclear bomb of the affair out of the blue. What are your thoughts on this? Did your husband drop it on you from nowhere? Or did you have a history of discussions and an understanding that there were problems in the marriage? My rational self does know the relationship with the O is based on a flimsy beginning. We do both know we should take time apart. Everyone is telling us that, and that is the intention. I now accept that telling my wife straight out is the right way to go. My comment: you can step away from your O, take a good, hard look at yourself. Focus on what is truly important in your life at this time, which should be your kids, and working together with your wife to make this transition into divorce as easy as possible. Having your O around will not accomplish this. It will cause your mind to lose focus on those things. Let's not forget that the O needs to do the exact same thing. If you believe her, then let her show you that she is willing to do the same as you. If she is there after it is all said and done, then she has earned your trust and you can go on living happily ever after, knowing that you are both in it for the right reasons. Your other option is to continue following the path of least resistance and doing things that make it easier for you to get through this. You want to lessen the blow for your wife by giving her information like breadcrumbs, when really that hurts her in the long run and only helps you feel better that you didn't blindside her. You can keep seeing this O, who could honestly make things a lot worse for you in the long run. You like this option because she is a soft place to lay your head and will distract you from your reality. Again, OP, this is all about what makes you feel good, not what is right.